Konnichiwa, my name is Sten Saluveer. I'm the programmer of Japanese and Asian films for the Black Nights Film Festival. I also helped to set up our new film market called the Black Market Online. And besides that, I also direct the Haapsalu Horror and Fantasy Film Festival, which is a small genre film festival that takes place annually in Haapsalu.
Okay, what sort of films did you plan to cover in this PÖFF festival?
Actually, with the Japanese films, it's a pretty interesting situation because I feel that in Estonia, but also I would generally say in Europe or in the West, the Japanese film is almost never a Japanese film. And what I mean by that is that somehow like Japan is not just like a country, but Japan is kind of reminds people of something like mystical or something like fantastical. Like people have like this, I would say, positive and negative stereotypes about Japan being the land of sushi, geisha, samurai, sumo, and so on and so on. So in a way, people also take their expectations to the cinema. So in a way, what has been going on, I think, for the past 10 years, when the Japanese film has been extremely popular, is that we kind of see like this celebration of certain films and certain directors that really easily fit to that category. I mean, either we see this exotic Japan of this sort of like memoirs of a geisha, for example, or some old samurai movie, or at the other end we see like this sort of ultra-violent Japan of Takeshi Miike, Kitano, and all these directors, which is all about like sex, violence, and that with the capital C. So in a way, a big challenge for us or me at the programming office has been to, in a way, demonstrate that I think the audience should kind of accept films which are made in Japan, which necessarily aren't so-called Japanese films. So there are strong dramas, there are strong comedies, of course there's animation and horror and so on and so on. So in a way the festival really has to kind of flourish, or in a way represent that equally. I think this year we pretty much managed to cover like the whole spectrum. We have like really small independent films, like for example the film Summer Family by quite recognized Buto dance artist Masaki Ivana, or Ivana Masaki, depends which way you kind of think about it. It's his second feature, and it's actually more of an recorded contemporary dance piece than I would say a feature film. At the other hand, we have maybe, I would say, my favorite actually film of probably this year, which is called Confessions or Kokuhaku by Nakashima Takashi, which is a really big budget sort of battle royale type of massive movie about this sort of negative state of contemporary Japanese society, the school bullying, the way how the parents don't understand their children, the way how the police doesn't know what to do, and so on and so on. And this film is actually applying for the prize of the best foreign language film in the next year's Oscar Gala. So in a way we have like these both two ends, and then we have like kind of a middle range with like smaller dramas, feature films, and so on and so on.
Well, culturally speaking, I have seen a lot of Estonians are fascinated by Japanese culture. I've seen young people that were trying to learn Japanese languages, and they're in general interested to know more about Japan. What would you consider as a sort of relation between Estonian and Japanese culture?
Well, I mean, there is some kind of hypothetical theories that Estonian culture and Japanese culture ought to be somewhat similar. After spending a good 10 years on it, I would say that there's not too much of a like joint aspects between the two cultures. But I would more say that the fascination with Japanese culture, it's a worldwide phenomenon. And in a way, Japanese have been really clever of marketing their marketing their country in a way that it seems appealing, fresh, cool, so on and so on. And it's actually a very deliberate process what they've been doing for the past, I would say, 25 years. Because historically looking, after the Second World War, Japan has been politically isolated because, for example, their constitution says that they cannot participate in any armed conflict as an offensive force. So whilst politically they don't have, well, they've kind of ripped out of their superpower status, then economically, well, we can think about the Sony Walkman and VHS miracle in the 80s. And then culturally, from the end of 80s and the beginning of 90s, they really cleverly managed to conquer the world in a way, building the cool Japan, which is actually cool. It's nothing really bad about it.